In this video, I'm going to show you how to propagate culinary onions of different kinds so that you can regrow them from your kitchen scraps. This is an observational exercise only. We will not be actually conducting an experiment with these onions. Remember that these are tunicate bulbs because they have this papery covering on the outside of them. This one is a scallion or a green onion. This one is just a regular yellow onion. You can do red onions this way or sweet onions, any kind of like the big bulbous onions like that. And then this one in particular is a shallot. Shallots are kind of cool because usually when you get them at the store, they already have at least 2 bulblets on here. So we can take this papery covering off the outside, and then I already have 2 onions here. So whenever I propagate this, I can just cut this bottom piece off, and as long as I still have that basal plate intact, then we can just direct stick these bases. So what that looks like is you can peel these apart, and when I pick that apart, now we have this basal plate here that you can actually see. It's nice because this is purple, so you can see the good contrast between the purple and the white. And then for propagating this, if you're just going to cut it up for dinner or whatever, all you're going to have to do is just cut this bottom piece off right here, so that this is all I have left. I like to soak these overnight in water, and you don't want to have like all of the leaves soaking in water. You just need a little bit where the basal plate is going to be forming roots. I have this whole shallot that I can still cook and eat. And then here, I've propagated some of them for you already. You can see a couple of different dates on there and just see what they look like as they start to regrow. It looks like this is about, let's see, that's 9 days, and today's the 7th. This is 15 days of growth, so after a little bit, about 2 weeks, depending on which one you're looking at here. It looks like this shallot, even though I just stuck in 1 basal plate, is turning into 3 new onions for me. This one looks like it just has a really strong central leader, and then the last one, it looks like is going to form 2 shallots. So you would just soak this basal piece overnight and then plant it kind of on the surface so that those roots can go down into your soil pot. The mix that I've put into this one is just a regular potting soil, just like a 1-to-1 or whatever comes out of a bag sort of thing. The second onion I'm going to show you how to propagate is going to be this big culinary onion. It looks like this one already has a bit of a bad spot on, and so we would probably want to take that moldy bit off of there. Oh yeah, but we don't really care about the outside of this onion anyways. What we want to save is on the inside of this onion. So the way that you're going to want to cut this onion is going to be a little bit different than how you would cut it. Like if you're a professional chef, there's a way that they teach you how to cut onions so that it doesn't moosh while you're cutting it. And the thing that's mooshing on the inside is that embryo and that new growing tip. And that's the part that we want to save out of this onion. So if you're really into cutting your vegetables super fast, this might not be the best way to propagate the onion. But if you want to be able to grow this onion after you've eaten everything, then I'll show you how to cut this. So I'm going to take a knife. This one's not the sharpest knife. I should have brought my fancy sharp knife, but today I forgot it on my way in, which just happens sometimes. And I'm just going to kind of take this knife, and I want to go like in and on an angle because that basal plate we know is conically shaped. It's curved like that. So I'm going to just kind of take this and stab in on an angle, and I'm going to go down about 5 or 6 times, however many times it takes me to get around this basal plate. Okay, yeah, that's a moldy piece right there, but I think we're going to be fine. We'll see what it looks like on the inside, and if this one looks really bad, it's okay because I brought examples of what it looks like after you let them grow for a while too. Okay, so you see I've cut, it's about 6 parts around this, and then I'm just going to kind of wiggle around this, and I'm going to pull it out, and look at that. So when I've pulled that out, I've pulled out this basal plate, which is down here at the bottom, and then this embryo, and look at, Let's see, how can I make it so you can see that? The lighting is really kind of weird today. So there's actually another propagule that's coming up right here in this onion. So when I plant this, it looks like I'll already get 2 onions right off the bat without even any more bulblets forming. This is another one. So when you buy them in the store, they've been setting out for a long time, and so the roots are really, really dry on this. So this is another one where I would just kind of stick this in a dish of water overnight and let those roots rehydrate. And then when those roots rehydrate, they're just going to start looking a little bit thicker. The coloration will change in them a little bit. This was just overnight, so it didn't really have a ton of time to grow yet, or to soak in a lot of water. And then, so I've already started a couple for you here. Here's some various dates that you're looking at. And we can see which ones already had 2 organisms in them to start. Sorry, I'm trying to not show you the other plant, but we'll see the other plant next week. It's romaine lettuce. Spoiler alert. So here, this one's splitting into, it looks like maybe even 3, but we'll see as this grows. And you could divide these offsets and plant them separately, and then it'll give you more onions. Whenever we plant this, where's the one I soaked? Here's the one I soaked. We really just want to bury this base. And you can pick off some of these outer leaves. With this one, since it looked like it was getting kind of moldy on one side, I probably want to remove at least that amount of tissue. Because you don't want to start off that way, right? The good old saying is junk in, junk out. And so if you start with bad propagation material, you're not going to get any good successful results. Okay. So here we go. Here's the base of our onion. And we're just going to, use your fancy tools, your fingers here, and just kind of stick that, and then you can kind of cover just those little leaf patterns if you want to or whatever. And then we just need to water this in. So I have a succession of them that I'd started for you here just so that you could kind of see what the regrowth looks like on that process. It doesn't look like any of these are really going to be an onion that I'd want to eat right away yet. So we still have to give it a little bit more time before it's something that you can just go ahead and nom on. All right, so there's that one. And then this is what the rest of the onion looks like. I mean, so you still have a lot of onion that you can use here for eating. I mean, obviously I got to cut out the bad spot on this one because I have a big moldy part on this part of the onion, but there's still a lot of tissue here that's edible. In permaculture, they call that stacking functions whenever you're using something for food and then also regrowth. And they use that term in mathematics a lot too. The last one I'm going to show you how to regrow is a scallion. Or green onion, or leeks are also propagated this way. A lot of times when you purchase them in the store, they already have these little roots, which are really nice. So if we already have these little roots, then we have a kind of a little frame of reference of, okay, well, we can just plant this. You can keep an eye on these roots and see if they look really dry or if they're nice and hydrated. And in this case, I would say that these roots are probably okay, but they would still probably benefit from a soak overnight. So you're going to use most of this scallion culinarily for whatever you want to use it for. But when you get down to the end down here, you want to save like 2 or 3 centimeters down here at the base. And so this is what we replant, just this little piece down here. You've got this whole onion that you can use for eating. And then we're just going to replant this little piece here and have it turn into more bunching onions. In this case, we've chopped off this growing tip, but it'll send out new leaves. And when it does send out the new leaves, they're going to look like this. See? So this one was started on 325, 321, and 319, and you can see what the growth rate looks like on those. Again, this is not something that we're totally ready to eat yet. I mean, if you were in a pinch and these were the only green onions you had, then sure, yeah, go ahead and dive into them right away. But you can let these grow for quite a while and then harvest them rotationally. At my house, what we're trying to do this year is just grow them as we go and see how long it takes for us to have a sustainable population for us to be able to consume them. All right, so that was the 2 major types of onions and how you would repropagate those. But we've actually done 3 onions, right? We did a scallion, a shallot. Oh, I'm holding the wrong piece. Ha 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 ha. So these are, at the end of the day, these are our propagation pieces, and then everything else is still a food item that you would consume. So regular onion, shallot, and green onion.